I'm Lee from Buzzword Media, and we have a digital agency that we've been running for just over 10 years. I'm also one of Google Australia's trainers that they send out to do small business workshops and learn how to use their apps and things like that. Have worked with Facebook and LinkedIn for a long time as well, so there's a little sheet that Facebook's given me to give to you that's their recommended creative content apps, so make sure you pick one up if you haven't got one on the way out. And today we're talking about attraction marketing. So attraction marketing, let's think about what is that. So if we think about the word attraction and then we think about the word marketing, we want to attract people as natural marketing. So it's not about the promotions that you're doing, that you're pitching. It's because if you think about when if you've got chunky mail, we don't hang out at the letterbox waiting for the promotions. We hang out at the letterbox for the invites, for birthday cards, for incentives like vouchers or something that you might know is coming, but we don't hang out to get, oh, I got the plumber's electric, little magnet today. So that's the idea around what attraction marketing and what we're going to be talking about is how do you naturally attract people to your business on an ongoing basis without having to really think strategically and promote. And that's changing the way that people will perceive you as your brand. And you don't have to tell them to buy from you, they want to buy from you. So why would businesses use this kind of strategy? And again, attraction marketing is another term that is also used in the marketing world, which I don't particularly like using because some people look at me and go, I have no idea what you're talking about. And that is inbound marketing. And obviously, if you think about attraction, inbound, that's what it is. So outbound marketing is when we push promotions out, we push ads out. Chunky marketing is inbound marketing. Outbound marketing. Inbound marketing is when it just naturally comes to you, like somewhat like a referral is an inbound marketing strategy. You might strategically still decide, okay, I've got a collaboration, for example, Farid's an accountant, has great business database. I'm in marketing. So we could collaborate where I come in and I talk to his clientele. He's then offering them a nicer upsell type of service by connecting them with me, and then I can potentially earn new clients. That's an inbound marketing strategy. So why would we do this? Well, obviously to increase the business identity of you or your products and services. So for example, nobody in Farid's database knows who I am until he mentions, oh, I've got this fabulous person, Lee, coming in, blah, 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 she's going to be talking about this, 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 and this. And then they're like, oh, who is that person? So then they go and do their research on social media, in Google, because they want to know, is he talking rubbish, or is it just, because we have a thing about trust as well, which I'll bring up a bit later, but just, if I get on a platform in a soapbox and I say, I'm really good at what I do. And it's like, but if Matt gets up and says, oh my God, Lee's so good at what she does, blah, 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 who do we believe more? That's right. So again, that referral is an inbound marketing. The reviews are inbound marketing. So asking people to do your Google reviews is really important to be part of your process. So if you have clients, make sure that you have a part of your process at the final, where they love you the most, it may be in the process, asking them for that review. Have a link that you have directly to your Google business, set up in a template email. Email marketing is something that is a tool that you can use. There's a lot of free tools out there. You can come and talk to us about some of those at our table at Buzzword Media. We can help you on some of those. The thing that you want to do though is think strategically about where it's natural to do it. So when someone's on the phone and says, oh, you have just made this process so much easier. that's when you ask, oh, do you mind putting that up on Google? I can shoot you through the link. Or, oh, I'd love for you to add that to my LinkedIn profile. I'll send you a recommendation. Send them the link, so then it's the front of mind. It's sitting in their messages or in their email box. They're going to do it because we ourselves as humans all have a sense of reciprocity. We want to give. It's natural to give. You know how you feel when someone comes up and goes, hi! We just bounce. We ourselves feel good then. It's like, oh, hi! That's the same response you want to have when you say, oh, if they say, oh, I love what you did for me, this looks amazing, you go, oh, I'd love for you to tell people that on my LinkedIn profile. It's bouncing back. So it's not just don't be embarrassed to ask for those reviews and testimonials, but also bounce back off their energy. Give back that energy, because then that builds the connection. And again, builds attraction, because what do we like doing? Do we want to hang out with the guys that are like naysayers? You know, those ones that are, always whinging about the problems in the world. Oh, Mondays. I hate Mondays. No, you hate what you do. Go find something else to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, change your day. Start on Tuesdays. But who do we want to hang out with? We want to hang out with the people that are really positive energy. So that's another way of attracting people to your business. Thinking about how can you be positive within your social spaces, within your website. What's the language that you're using in your emails? How are you finishing an email? Is it just regards, kind regards, or is it have a cheery day? Something that could be built into your business that's part of your tagline. I could see Matt saying, have a cheery day. So the other thing is, so that's part of building your identity. Be known for something. Be known for that energy. Be known for your personality. Most people know my business because of me and my loud personality. Now that doesn't mean I'm everybody's cup of tea or coffee, because I'm a coffee person. So that doesn't matter, because they're not my kind of client. I'm not going to have problems and troubles the whole process if I take that type of client on, because we just don't get each other. So as much as you attract the right clients, you're detracting the messy clients. You don't want the messy clients. Replace them with the best clients. Increase your business network to strengthen your referrals. I've just touched on that a little bit in terms of those referrals, talking about the reviews, when to plan it. The other thing is just to touch on your Google business space. If you have a physical location, you can set up a Google business. In that Google business, it is a really simple process to go through the steps that they ask you to do, which is free advertising when people Google search businesses like you. One of the defaults in Google when we search is that whether you're on your phone or on your laptop, Google's picking up where you are, where your location is. So if you say Chinese restaurant, they're going to give you Chinese restaurants around you. If you are looking for an accountant, they're going to give me ATP. If I'm looking for an IT support, they're going to give me that. And if I'm looking for financial or insurance, they're going to say Tina. So there's different, if it's not there, if you haven't put in those categories, if you haven't put in your tagline, if you haven't filled in the little bits, the steps that Google asks you to do, if you just go and you go, okay, my business is here, I've got my pretty images up, I've got my address in there, you haven't given them enough. The more you give Google about your business, the more likely you are going to come up for searches. That is attraction marketing, because you didn't pay for it, and it's just naturally happening, and that's research. That's from research in Google. So go and Google your business and have a look at what it's got about you. And you may have a few moments, but that's okay, because you just start, you know where to start, you know what to change. That's the best place to be, because if you look at it and go, sweet, but you're not getting any calls, you need to learn something, because you need to dig in, see what else you can add to it, and then make sure that you, sometimes if you have one, just on a side note, sometimes if you haven't claimed your business, go through the process of claiming it, because you'll see that little link, is this your business? Click on that, go through the process. They'll send out a postcard to your location to verify that you are actually a business, okay? And then you'll be able to do what you need to do with that. All of this is the big reason, obviously, why we do all this energy marketing. You know, whether it's inbound marketing or outbound marketing, this is one of the biggest benefits that I find. It takes a bit of energy in the beginning to build your profile, to build your leads in, but once you've done that, it's like cruising, you know? It's like thinking about a trip. We go, oh my God, I've got to get my passport organised, I've got to get my visa done, I've got to ski gig, can I still fit into it? Like, it's all this sort of stuff. There's a whole drama of stuff you've got to do. And then if you've got kids, you've got to sort them out too. But once you've packed your bags, and once you're in the car, you're cruising, right? So that's what happens. It's like, as long as you get that process in place, that planning, that foundation of your business in place, think about what kind of personality you want to be, whether it's a business or a person, then it starts to happen. And paid campaigns. I hate it when people put money behind those promotions that just don't work. What happens to those flyers and those magnetic things that come in the letter boxes? What do we do with them? Bin them. We do. And your ads in Facebook and on Google, you're paying for that, but who's clicking on them? What's your conversions? What's your reach? Stop putting money back into them just because it's like, oh, I got nothing out of it this month, I'll put another month on. You know, don't do it because it's not working. What works is when you actually go through, look at some of your social media posts, look for those ones that are actually social, but in a subtle way, promote what you do, and advertise them, because that's what's going to get people to click through. And we're going to talk about that type of content. Oh, what happened? Oh. I panicked. I like marketing, don't ask me to do tech. I'm married to tech dude. Okay, so why do they fail? Why do we all fail short? What do we do wrong? And a lot of it is because of what I just said. We don't plan. We don't think about that foundation of what we want to identify as. Who do we want to be known as? And then we don't put that process in place. And why can't we put the process in place is because we just didn't plan it properly, right? We jump in and we do, oh, I haven't done a social media post in a month. Don't look at us because we haven't actually done one for a month. And there's a reason behind that, because my assistant is now on maternity leave and I haven't got a replacement. Does anyone want a job? So also, this is called a strategy. Now, I actually didn't realise, now this is where I use language that I don't even realise. Sometimes I'm using lingo that people have no idea. I actually had someone ask me, what do you mean by a strategy? I don't get it. Like, I see this all the time. Book in for a 15-minute strategy session. And I had to pause and I thought, you know what? I just use that word so easily and I don't even think, what do I mean by that? Well, the strategy is actually helping you put a plan in place to follow a process. Literally that. That's what a strategy is. So when we talk about an inbound marketing strategy, that's what we're talking about. We're going to look at who you are, who's your audience, how we can position you, and then we put a process in place to deliver you the results. That's what a strategy is. Because if you don't have it, this is what happens. I like this guy. I don't know if Glasgow, you don't see so many of his cartoons anymore, but yeah. So let's talk about when we do have it all in place. When you plan, flow, you naturally grow. And that's what I'm talking about. If we have that plan and then we have the process in place, it all just starts to cruise. We're on our holiday and the phone's ringing, emails are coming in, we're not having to do anything. The plan is done, we just have to follow it. And this then improves the quality of content, because if you know what you're planning, you're not doing that ad hoc, oh, I'm going to put a post up today, oh, I'll do this. And then tomorrow it's something random, different. There's no strategy behind what do you do? What do you want people to know you do? I mean, if people follow me on my personal, it's all very social. It's all out at events, it's hanging out with other businesses, it's speaking. In a subtle way, it tells people what I do, but it attracts them to look into who am I and what do I do. So I don't need to be blunt at the front, you tease to lead instead. It improves the quality of your connections. So when you have a plan in place, you're following the process, that attracts the right people, the people you love to work with, and it attracts the people you don't. And I've got to say, it's so much easier to detract them from the beginning than to have inquiries coming through, and then you get into this mindset that you have to deliver what they want because you don't want to hear the word no. Detract them first, get rid of them, don't even have them inquire. Then you don't have to say them, you don't have to hear the no. So it just builds better quality connections. And it also improves that consistency of relevance. So when you are actually planning and you've got a process to follow, you know exactly what blogs you're going to be doing this quarter. You know exactly how many posts you're going to do on whatever topic. And you've planned it out. It becomes more relevant. People will come back because you're leaving little crumbs like Hansel and Gretel to the witch's house. The benefits of this? Let's think about this. Obviously, it's going to elevate your authority. One of the key things that, and it's not just you personally, it's your products and services. Nike, it's a jogger. Adidas, same jogger. Anyone know the real difference? It's the brand. It's how they relate to you, how they're connecting their story to you. So that's how you can think about your businesses and your services. Have a look at some of we all know a competitor in our industry that has, in our mind, nailed it. Go and look at what you like about that. What are they doing? And then think, how can you do something similar that resonates with you? So for me, we always use like buzzword media. It's got the bubble, it's about chatting, talking, being social, and it's website media. So for me to go real vanilla and stale and serious in our messaging and our social posts wouldn't resonate with what we do. So we wouldn't be attracting the right clients. So think about how you want to present yourself, what kind of clients you're after, and what kind of people are they? Are they young gen? Are they serious professionals? Which also have personalities, by the way. I mean, Tina is a finance insurance broker, and she's got a very big personality. She'll be speaking at Hills Expo. And Farid, if you haven't booked in, you need to come and see him in his chef's hat after me, right? The recipe for success. It'll excite you talking about your finances for a change. This expands your connections in a natural way, as I mentioned. That's the benefits. You know, it's people will talk about you, they'll recommend you, and then they'll tag you. So if you think about that on social media, how responsive are you being to your connections? If they're checking in on Google, if they're leaving reviews, are you replying? Are you commenting back? You should. Because if I pick up the phone and I'm talking to someone and they're just silent, that's not natural. And it's the same online. If you've got somebody who has left you a review, would you not say, if they gave you a compliment, thank you? Do it online. Because it actually starts a conversation, not to mention leaves a good feeling that, oh, I got noticed. Oh, they noticed me. And then that builds that trust and loyalty that they have for you. We're going to talk about that authority reputation now. So influence is what creates authority and reputation. Now this can go positively or negatively, but it is an influence. Influence, how you show up, whether you're positive or that naysayer that's just, oh, I hate this. I actually don't hate Mondays, I love Mondays. But it will determine your reputation. What was that? Isn't it Tuesday? Tuesday today, that's right, yeah. So, I'm all for the 4-day week, by the way, so we can start on Tuesdays. So with the, I've lost my track now, but anyway, so this can go up, it can go sideways or downways. The thing about a reputation is it's not, don't think it's never going to happen. Somebody out there is not going to like you eventually. Somebody, I know that. and there's people, you know, it's going to happen. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. The point is that you need to have what we call a PR crisis plan, which is part of your planning process, right? How are you going to deal with that review that's negative on Google? You can't get rid of it because it could be, in their opinion, it's an honest review of your service. But you'll need to deal with that. So make sure you have a backup crisis plan. And even if it's just, you know, if it's just you and your business, it makes it a lot easier because just you're the one that's got to deal with it and you're the one that's got to own it. If you've got staff, it gets a little bit more messier. You've got to identify, well, what happened? I need to talk to someone. What's the scenario here? And then you need to work out, well, how are you going to respond? Don't ignore it. You need to respond. But what I do suggest is you get it offline. You say, and I don't mean get it offline meaning the review, you can't do that. What I mean is take the conversation offline. So have people, have someone, whoever, it's like, oh, look, I'm really sorry that you've had this experience. Acknowledge it. They have had an honest, truly terrible experience. In their mind, they have. It's not about you, it's about them. So you need to acknowledge it, and then you need to fix it. And that is, can you give us can you message us or can you send an email to such and such so we can have someone in customer service talk to you? Or so and usually this is stuff that happens. I find this is a big issue for businesses that sell products online that we can't trust the Post Australia system to deliver. So particularly around Christmas. So it can be tricky, but it's just acknowledging it and getting it offline. So what can you do about building? This is what you really want to focus on. And when those negatives come in, that can convert a client just as much because you acknowledge them, you paid attention and you fixed it. And I have seen reviews from our own clients that have come back in and actually added underneath that, thank you so much for fixing that problem for me, I will be back. You know, so they've felt that guilt that they put that review up. They can't take it down either, but they can also respond. We want to work on this. So the more that you influence out, you want to go, you'll position up. We don't want that other arrow that goes influence out and position down. So the more you ignore people, the more you whinge, the more you attract the wrong clients, your reputation's going to go down the toilet, right? It's really hard to come back from something like that. And you'll see, we all know businesses that have just had to rebrand purely because of that, or change industries. Maybe that business wasn't what they should have been in the first place, who knows, but this should become natural for you. In attraction marketing, if you have found your personality match to your business, found the match with clients that have attracted from that personality, this should start to become natural. And I call these my five ways to build your profile. Your personal, can be your personal brand or your business brand, but it's always be personable. Don't be frightened to share a little bit about you. And that could be in the way you dress, the way you say hello in your emails or finish your emails. There is a personal versus professional. I don't mean personal like, hey, he's been out on Friday night, whoa, drinking cocktails with my girlfriends. That might not go so well unless you're working in a nightclub. But be relatable too. Obviously you need to relate to those clients that you're with and that you're looking for, and be passionate about what you do. People love people who seem to capture them into what they do. They can read it. It's like, gee, you really love what you do. I hear that a lot. I I see Farid, the way that he does his presentations. I know he loves what he does. I hate my books. But, you know, I love people that love what they do in that area because that makes my life easier and it lets me do what I love more. Being relevant, well, and that's what I mean, making sure that your articles, your tips, find those pain points that your clients have. What is the most common problem that your clients have? If you can think up 3, and we'll do this later, but think of 3 common problems that you have clients come to you for. I need you to fix. I've got a problem with, right? They're your blogs, they're your tips, they're your posts, and some of it is the content that you find for reviews and testimonials once you fix them. Be responsive, which is, you know, I think I've hammered that home enough to make sure you reply, because that just builds the trust and loyalty. Now, with the one about personable, I just slipped this in because I tend to find this is the one that people just really get a bit bogged on. How do they keep that balance between personal and professional? What is that line to stay relevant? Like, it's all very good for me to say, here's all those bullet points, you know, passionate, relevant, responsive. But how do you do that all the time in your business? Well, I think we overthink it, because if you think the natural stuff that we do every day is very relatable because everybody does it. But it's easy for you to tie in, while I was driving to work today, I saw, and it made me think of. And you could take a photo just of you on the road. You know, it's about the traffic, it's relating life, and you'll be, what you're looking for is where people can actually start to give you conversation underneath. Because if you can create conversations, you create reach into new people's audiences. This isn't about you promoting what you do. This is about connecting and creating conversations so that people that don't know you want to know what you do. Does that make sense? Yeah. So it's just, you know, these are just a few examples that you might want to think about. What do you gain the most reward from? Is it the compliments? For me, it's the coffee. For my husband, it's sweets. He loves his cakes, you know. But I think I also, for me, I do a lot of charity work. I work with organisations where I put my skills in what I do because I know they can't afford what I do. Now, I would love to be able to duplicate my skills 20 times to be able to do it for a lot of charities, but I can't. So it is something I do find I stretch my time on. But you know, that's the reward that I get back from what I know I can put back into my community, like today. Think about those staff you have. If you have staff or colleagues, if you're a single operator, who do you love working with that makes your life easy? Who can you trust? I know mine's Robin. Robin, you might have seen her running around here. She makes my life super easy. My husband makes my tech life very easy. So, quality content. I'm just going to keep an eye on the time. Yep. The content. So where does it start? Obviously with the quality of content. I've just given you a few ideas around the personal content. We're going to dig into this a little bit more because the content is what attracts those connections, those ones that like you, the ones that want to know you more. And then it's just about keeping it consistent. We call this part the process. So, creating quality content. Create content worthy of stealing. Don't keep that amazing content people love you for behind the screen of only when they actually work with you. What's going to attract them to come and work with you is actually to give away. I am often told, oh my God, Lee, you give so much away in your free workshops. And, like, because if they're clients that need free education, I've just given it to them to grow into the clients that potentially could end up coming back to me to be a paid client because they can't afford it when they're a smaller client. But if I'm giving it to help them grow, then they can come back. They're also, because they're going to remember me, or they're going to book into a workshop because they've seen me somewhere. Like today, a free day here might lead you into a $99 workshop, or our mentoring program to help you actually build this, because we know that branding strategists will charge you somewhere between 5 and 10K to get everything done for you. And not all of us have that in our back pocket. That's a family holiday. To a lot of family businesses, that's a family holiday. So we try to, these are the 3 E's that I like to call around content. So I gave you some of those personal queries to think about, but this is to keep the balance of content. You don't want to, and well, the next slide will show this, but you want to give it variation. And this will help you create, like if you think there's 5 in here, 6 in here, another 7 in here, you plan out 3 posts a week, or blog articles, you know, anything that you want to put out in LinkedIn. If you don't have a blog in your website, LinkedIn has a blog space that you can do. Pick a topic. That's your content strategy there for 3 months. And you haven't copied or duplicated anything. The point of this entertaining, engagement and educational is you want to keep a balance of the posts, because quite often it's these educational ones where we do promos and they don't necessarily get a lot of reach, but the entertaining ones will. The engaging ones are the ones you want to create conversations on. These will bring you your new clients intrigued. They're the T's to leads, okay, to bring you into this. Then this is what builds your authority, because you are walking the talk. If you just do this because you're chasing the gain, you're chasing likes, you're chasing shares, you're chasing conversations, but it's not converting anything, it's because you're not actually educating them. You haven't given them the why would I work with you. These are samples. So education. It does not have to be a blog. It does not have to be graphics, tech tips. It can be a video. And in this case, you know, this was last year's Wexpo when I spoke for on Google. But it can be just that. People are drawn in by a photo of someone speaking. Oh, who is that? And then it's a video that gave them a single snippet and the caption was underneath in the post. Now, what could be then, I'm not sure what I did or not, but what could be then, what's drawn them in is then to look and watch the video, because we love to absorb video. We're getting a bit lazy these days and not necessarily reading much. So I've given them a video, drawn them in with the photo because this looks authoritative. And then I could say, sign up if you're interested in the workshop, or go to, you know, here for the free download guide on how to get started with Google, which is actually what I think I did for that one. It's that simple, and it will keep going. The more that you can then repurpose that, saying, I could repurpose that now, and I'm sure none of you would remember it from last year, those that know me. Okay, so entertaining. Most often my entertaining ones come related to coffee on Mondays. Or Fridays, because it's like Friday. But, you know, other times I have these moments like, this is where it becomes relatable, because I work with a graphics design team. I'm doing social planning, social content all the time. And this literally happened. Like, I was like, who here starts with 1 tab in the morning, usually their emails, and then by the end of the day, they've got like 30 or 40, their computer's lagging, and then they go back and they go, oh shit, I forgot to send that email. Yeah, so, you know, these are the moments that you can share wit, because people relate to it, they love it, and it brings them in and say, oh, you're so my person, you know? Now, behind the scenes, this is actually one of the clients that I work with. He's a crime writer, 6-time bestseller, lives on the Central Coast. And, you know, I have to read books. You know, clients pay me to read books. That's a tough gig. And then I've got to set up, you know, scenes to, and it's like, this is my Friday. This is Friday, you know, because it's my wine cheese and I've just had a book delivered. So thinking about how you can sort of tie in socially that's more relatable and connects to people, but you're subtly promoting, because in the post, that was actually what I wrote, like, and I had the link to where you could go and get his book if you wanted to read it. I'm going to disclose something to you now. This is a stock photo. I'm not that smart, you know? And the tool is Canva. If you haven't heard of it, you've been living under a mushroom, because it's an Australian-owned business. And it's a free level, there's free photos. There is other apps, obviously. If you want to come and, I've got a full list of image sites. Pixabay is another one. Unsplash, if you like things are a little bit left of field and out there. Optus uses them in their imagery. You know that big, did anyone remember the ad with the big pink bunny that had its tail dragging, walking down the street? That came from Unsplash. So there's a whole list if you want to come and see me, and you need those free sites that you don't have to give acknowledgements to, because in a sense that takes away from what you're trying to do. If an image that you really love, or it's a collaboration with someone that's a photographer, by all means do it, because if it starts bringing work back to you because it's connected to you, then that's good to do. But again, behind the scenes does not have to be, can I say, does not have to be the selfie moments at every event that you go to. And it's because, and I say that, I am joking, because Fred and I, it's like Fred is the selfie king, and I've been tokened as the selfie queen, because this is what we do. But it doesn't have to be. It can be other ways, you can do it in other ways. So it's thinking about birthdays in the office, getting an award. Rather than doing you with the award on the night, you could set it up with the award in the office the next day, celebrating with staff. You know, it could be anything. It doesn't have to be. It can even be when you're on holidays to say taking time out. Instead of saying we are closed for 2 weeks, which is boring as hell promotion, you'd get no engagement, you could say, I'm just checking out, and put up a photo of the island in Maldives. And then go, maybe not here, but I've checked out. You know, I mean, it's just thinking a little bit outside of the box. So, why you mix it up is so we're not same but different. Okay, that's the obvious. You want to also, so the hidden spaces is why you get the reach, is also if you keep putting image after image after image after image, and it's not getting engagement, Facebook's really not going to go, you know what, we gave them no engagement this month, we're going to give them a shitload next month. It doesn't work that way. You have to play the game. So you have to feed the algorithm. That's why they have reels, stories. You know, the different sizes and things like that can get very confusing and hard. I just think if you are doing it yourself, keep it square. Keep it square. Square is a good size landscape on your phone. Stories and reels, obviously. If you're doing video, do it this way, because they'll go up in Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and when people are scrolling through their feed, you've just taken up the entire face of their phone. So don't do videos like this and put them up on social media, because then you only take up about 1/5 of their newsfeed. Always do this way. And, you know, obviously with the different types, videos, posts, blogs, you're tapping into how different people like to absorb. I'm really not a YouTube how-to person. If I go to YouTube, I'm actually that person that looks underneath that YouTube's actually told the bullet points of like the steps. I don't know if anyone else knows what I'm talking about, but I can't watch the full video. I just go, oh, there's that little highlight. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Click on the next one. And yeah, so I'm a reader. I prefer to read, but I get it if people are doing, you know, recipes. You know, they've got their phone there, and it's like, oh, I'm following this. They're following this guy. It's like, I can do these things. Pause. Do this thing. Pause. I just can't do it. I'm the typical old cookbook type girl. But that's why you do it. You do it not only for the algorithms, but you do it to reach out to different personalities and how they like to absorb content. Right. This is something that I can give to you. If you come down to our stall, I can give you a link to this spreadsheet. This will help you plan out content in a month on a Google Drive. So basically, I'll give you the link, you can copy it, so you can create your own editable version. And what you'll see in here is industry media. Now that might be an article or something within online on a certain website that you're following. For finance, it might be the latest interest rates. It might be the cost of living's gone up, or the controversy about what's, the changes in the small business laws that they're doing at the moment. People are interested in that, and they all love to give their own political opinions. So don't you think that just by sharing an article, you'll just cop it out. Don't go there. Like if you put up an article and say, my thoughts on this are, blah, 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 anyone else want to tap in? You will LinkedIn 20 people plus by the end of the day, I reckon, because everybody wants to share their opinion. Maybe try to stay away from a lot of controversial subjects unless you're prepared to sit on your computer all day and monitor that. But infographics. Infographics are those, I love them. There are cartoonists all over the place in Instagram and Facebook that give information, and you can absorb the information or the point within a graphic, a sketch, an illustration. They go crazy, and it's you can just give your interpretation of that. Like that graphic where I had the influence out, something as simple as that I've had get shared over and over and over and over, with my 5 points as the post. So something like that, you don't have to create those often either. It's just following Mark Cartoonist or Adam Grant or some of the cartoon. I can share my list. Robert Ferrero is another one. These guys share stuff all day, and it's easy. So again, here's your testimonials. Now you'll see when you get the spreadsheet in this month, not once have I duplicated and repeated the type of content that I'm sharing. So in a whole month of 12 posts, they're all different. So I'm keeping it relevant to people, I'm keeping them connected because they're learning something new. They're not seeing the same promotion every week for the next month. What they might be reading similar, it might be that you've got a workshop coming up and you're putting out it on the tips, and then you might put it out on a blog article, or you might put it out with a photo of a previous workshop that you've done before. But visually, when they see it, what draws them in, that tease to read, to remind them that you've got the workshop, is different content. Creating the quality connections, that's, your network is your net worth. So if you're going to be talking to the same little bubble that follows you, and you're not reaching new people, you're not growing. That's it, basically. For me, I know the term that the clients generally don't update their websites every 3 to 5 years. If they're a client that has me social media manage them, the idea is that I actually scale them to put me out of a job because they get bigger, their leads are in, we systemise things, we have a process in place that they can then just pay for a virtual assistant. They don't need to keep paying my team, they can have someone internally do it because there's other things they need them to do, administrative things that I don't do. So the idea is you want to grow. Your network is your net worth. I really can't say anything. Have a look at who you're hanging out with and where should you be instead. Who should you be having conversations with? What groups on Facebook? We all go into our safe space. We all go and have coffees with our friends all the time. But is there an event that you should be going to that potentially could have you somewhere else? Personality types. I'm going to finish with this actually because I've run a little bit over time. Ghoster, are you the ghoster? I want you to think about who you are now and who you really should be. These are the 3 things that you shouldn't be. A ghoster pops in and posts and then drops out. It's, I haven't done a post today. Boom, and then go out. You just spend 5 minutes on your newsfeed liking and commenting on, say, 3 posts. That's your habit. Post and then like and comment somewhere else. Don't stalk. The stalkers, they never post anything. You go and have a look. They'll write on everybody else's, and then you go and look at theirs and they haven't updated it for 6 months. I don't even know what they do. I don't even know why they're in social media. And then there's the talker. The talker is everywhere. He's everywhere, and he's talking about himself everywhere. On their posts, he's giving his opinions. And then he's talking about me on my soapbox. He's not sharing anything. Share. Sometimes those articles in the media, rather than you post it, share it from the media. Tag them. You might get lucky. If it's local media, yes. And then there's the networking, which I won't touch on, but it's thinking about those hashtags. Think about the relevant service hashtags you want to be found for. They are keywords, just like people search in Google. They search keywords in Facebook and Twitter. Are you adding them to your posts? That's what they're for. And what you're doing is duplicating your posts, not just in your space, but in other spaces to be found by new audiences. So you're increasing that network to people that are actually looking up those search words. Okay? And then we're done here. I don't know what happened then. Now, I was going to show you that last slide because it's always the, you know, the punchline, but it doesn't matter. But you will find us on the Buzzword Media table. So make sure you grab the little flyer that Facebook has given me with all the free apps and that you can create your own content with. My favourite on here is Quick, and Quick is, you won't need anything else really. It's from GoPro and it's free. The other app that they have for video editing is Splice, and it also is free. They're my two favourite go-tos that I use all the time, if I'm on the go. Okay? Thank you.